Didn't even see the clock. Good evening, everybody. This is the regularly scheduled meeting of the South Haven City Council. It's Monday, March the 6th, 2023, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. The invocation this evening will be given by Pastor Craig Massey of Hope Church. Good evening.
And thank you all, and appreciate being here and having the opportunity to do so and to kick off the meeting on a good step. I hope so anyway. Please pray with me. Father God, on behalf of these gathered here today, thank you for your many and abundant blessings. Thank you for life itself, for the measure of health we need to fulfill our callings, for sustenance and for friendship. Thank you for the ability to be involved in useful work and for the honor of bearing appropriate responsibilities. In the Scriptures, you have said that citizens ought to obey the governing authorities, since you have established those very authorities to promote peace, order, and justice. Therefore, I pray for our mayor, for the various levels of city officials, and in particular for this assembled council. I am asking that you would graciously grant them wisdom to govern amid the conflicting interests and issues of our times, a sense of the welfare and true needs of our people, a keen thirst for justice and rightness, confidence in what is good, fitting, and righteous in your eyes, the ability to work together in harmony even when there is honest disagreement, and for personal peace in their lives and joy in their task. I pray for the agenda set before them today. Please give an assurance of what would please you and what would benefit those who live and work in and around our city of South Haven. It is in the name of Jesus, whose resurrection celebration approaches, that I pray. Amen.
Amen.
And
thank you again for getting us started. And now if you'll join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, Megan.
Jeff Arnold.
Here.
Wendy Onuki.
Here.
Joe Reeser. Steve Schlock.
Here.
George Sleeper.
Here.
Letitia Wilkins.
Here.
Scott Smith.
Here.
Make a motion to excuse Councilmember Reeser.
Second.
Motion second to excuse Councilmember Reeser. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. He is excused. That takes us to the approval of the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion second to approve the agenda and a discussion. None. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's approved. Next, we'll get an update from our Van Buren County Commissioner, Ms. Gail Patterson-Gladney. Good evening, Gail.
Good evening. I just wanted to let you know, and I'm sure that you already might know, about the unfortunate death of the Paw Paw Fire Department member, Lieutenant Ethan Quillen, and that happened during the recent ice storm. There's a local business in Paw Paw that's putting together a small fundraiser for the Quillen family. There's also a GoFundMe page for his family. And in honor of Lieutenant Quillen, H2 Design and Company has created a candle, and all the proceeds will go directly to the Quillen family. And I just wanted to give this information to your city manager. On the candle, it has firefighter, and you can see the candle there. A truly rare individual who is highly skilled at protecting and rescuing others, a special person who faces risk and challenges with enormous courage, precision, and compassion, someone who inspires everyone to be just like them, the pride of all who know them, a real-life superhero. And that's, and then this says example, Lieutenant Ethan Quillen. Just in case anyone is interested, I thought I would let you know about that. Also, other news that's unfortunate from the county, the Van Buren County Road Commission lost one of their workers, and they sent out a news release following his death. Renee Ringel. And at this time, there's no GoFundMe page or no fundraiser yet. I talked to the acting managing director of the Road Commission, and she's going to let me know if there's something that can be done. But you can send cards, and the community can send cards to Van Buren County Road Commission, P.O. Box 156, Lawrence, Michigan, 49064. And I'm sure that they would appreciate knowing that he is remembered and honored. There will be a Veterans information event, and the Van Buren County Veterans Service Center is holding the event Thursday, April 13th, 11:30 to 4, and they will discuss the new PACT Act and also help with VA benefits, federal and state, filing claims, and My Health Vet. And then toxic exposure screening will also be available. I don't know a lot about the PACT Act, but it is a new law that expands the VA benefits, health care, and benefits for veterans who were exposed to the burn pits, Agent Orange, and other toxic substances. So this will give a good opportunity for the veterans to attend the program and find out more about. A bit of good news, I did attend the birthday party of Suella Van Dyke, who's 103, and as I stated before, she lives in Covert. A Representative Joey Andrews was there, Davy Cook, who is the supervisor from Covert, and then myself. We all gave proclamations and honored her at her birthday party. That was along with her family and friends. And she stood while we read the proclamations, and she is really amazing. And she asked when was the birthday song going to be sung. So she really liked that part. And I think some of you might have seen it on the news or on Facebook. She's famous. If anyone in the community has relatives, neighbors who are 100 or more, please let me know. There is someone else in Covert who's going to be honored. And as your mayor knows, Mrs. Lois Jewell, who's 102 now, we gave proclamations to her from the city and from the county. So if you would like to honor other residents, please let us know about that. At the last meeting, I talked about Holtec and their wanting to repower the Palisades nuclear power plant, and I attended the Covert Township meeting, and they all voted in favor of sending a resolution in favor of the opening. Tomorrow I will be meeting with Nick Culp from Holtec and asking more questions, and I think a couple more commissioners will be too. And it's going to be a long process, but they are resubmitting for a loan this time. So we'll see what happens with that. I think there was a question by City Councilwoman about the children's
The
Advocacy Center. Yes, thank you very much, by City Council Member Onuki. And they are up and running. They're going to be doing an official opening, and I'll try to get that information when it's ready. The county is still working with the townships and cities concerning the Robin Grant and application, and that's going to be due soon. I think your city manager knows, I think it's March 14th, around then, that it has to be submitted. So we're hoping that the cities and townships will be able to get that funding to help with the broadband projects. MAC, which is Michigan Association of Counties, I always think of it similar to MML, Michigan Municipal League. But this is on the county level. They launched their 125th anniversary year with a capital kickoff event last month, and they advocate and educate for all the 83 counties. And a quote from their the website that talked about the anniversary said, "MAC is the oldest Michigan association representing local governments. It is the only one dedicated to the representation of all county commissioners in Michigan." And then I just want to end with one of the hot topics. I don't know if you've heard about it. The Consumers Energy wants to put a high electric voltage line in, and they have different tentative plans. One of the plans goes through a lot of people's yards, and they have to cut down trees, and some people are very upset. It's been on the news. So we had a packed house. Just imagine packed house here and people out in the quarters. So there's some different proposals. One of them is to go through along 94 and to work along with AEP, but AEP won't work with them. So we're hoping that they will settle something, because the residents are very, very much against the current plan. And so I will try to bring you more information on that. But it was a good meeting in that the residents got a chance to speak to the representatives who were there. I think it was 4 representatives, and to make their voices known. Okay. Do you have any questions? No? Okay.
Nope.
Thank you.
So thank you, Gail. Appreciate it. All right, next we're going to get an update from We Care Community Resource Center Executive Director, Ms. Erica Morrison. Good evening again, Erica.
Thank you. So you probably heard the saying, "It takes a village," and that is so appropriate for how We Care cares for our community. Our Warm Your Heart campaign, so many people came together to support and lift up those who are struggling in our community. As you know, We Care meets approximately 10,000 needs a year. That's over 6,000 families in our communities that get assistance through our ministries, pantries, and resources. And fundraisers like our Island Sit and our Warm Your Heart campaign every February allow us to continue to provide food and groceries, personal hygiene items, baby care products, cleaning supplies, resource navigation assistance, free medical equipment, help with utilities, including those billed by the city of South Haven, rent and mortgage, and so much more. During our Warm Your Heart campaign, over 15 businesses partnered with us. It'd help if I have my glasses on. I'm like, why is this fuzzy? There you go. Over 15 businesses partnered with us for our Warm Your Heart campaign to raise funds over the month of February. A special shout out to some of those and to thank those who helped us, including Ace Hardware, 6 Chicks, Taste, 3 Blondes, Big B Coffee, The Living Room, Mitten Museum, Harbor Light Brewing Company, Julia's, Clementine's, Phoenix Street on Broadway, and many more. We also had over 10 churches helping to raise funds and promote the campaign, including St. Basil Catholic Church, Hope Reformed Church, First Congregational Church, First United Methodist, LifeBridge, Bethel Baptist, Church of the Epiphany, First Assembly of God, Church of Christ in Bangor, First Congregational in Bangor, Lily of the Valley in Covert, and many more churches. And specifically, I want to thank you, our City Council, for letting us take over the traffic island last Saturday with our very noisy cowbells. It was so much fun. The kids, I could not believe it, were going crazy with those cowbells, so it was really fun to watch them. We also had an amazing representation from over 14 groups in our community, from the Mr. and Miss South Haven Court to our city representatives, Megan and Kate, that were there, thank you, and our social organizations like Kiwanis Rotary, and we even had educational educational organizations like South Haven Public Schools, Baseline Middle School and Student Council, the Robotics Club, YDC, and Tri-County Head Start, and of course, Paul Leyendecker and the whole crew at 103.7 Cozy FM. All these fantastic people are the heart of what we do, and we are so privileged to have them supporting this amazing cause. As you can see, it really does take a community or a village to care for a community. And because of everyone in this community that gave a penny or more, said a prayer, or planned an event, we were able to raise over $35,000 in the month of February. At the Island Sit, we did around $7,000. We couldn't have done it without you and your approval of the Island Sit. And of course, we help people all year long. We're not limited to February. So fundraising really never stops. But without all these amazing supporters and all those in our community, we would not have the funds to help those in need in our area, and We Care would not exist. So we appreciate you and your support. We appreciate our communities of South Haven, Covert, and Bangor. And so thank you from myself, my staff, my board of directors, and all of us at We Care. You have made a difference in our lives and in the lives of those in our community. So thank you.
We appreciate you, and we care as well, so thanks for what you do. Great stuff, so thank you. All right, that takes us to the consent agenda items A through D.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda items A through D.
Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, this is a roll call vote.
Arnold,
Yes.
Onuki. Yes. Schlock,
Yes.
Sleeper,
Yes.
Wilkins,
Yes.
Smith.
Yes. Takes us to new business. We've got a few special events, so we're going to roll through the seasons here as we go. So, special event 2023-07, which is the Beach Easter Egg Hunt, to be held on March the 26th, 2023, from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the South Beach. Next item, special event 2023-08, Harbor Fest 2023, to be held June the 15th through June the 18th at Riverfront Park and Water Street from 8 p.m. until 10 p.m. We have special event 2023-09, Icebreaker Festival 2024, to be held February the 2nd through Sunday, February the 4th, 2024, at various locations in the Central Business District and Riverfront Park. Special event 2023-10, Festival of Cars Cruisin' for Kylie 2023, to be held on Saturday, June the 10th, 2023, from 5:30 a.m. until 4 p.m. at the Huron Street Pavilion and Parking Lot. Special event 2023-11, which is a Salute to Veterans 2023, to be held Saturday, August the 19th, 2023, from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. on the Black River from the Lighthouse to Dykeman Bridge. Special event 2023-12, Light Up the Lake Fireworks 2023, to be held on Monday, July the 3rd, 2022, starting at 10:30 p.m. from the North Pier. And then special event 2023-13, which is the National Day of Prayer 2023, to be held Thursday, May the 4th, 2023, from 12 p.m. until 1 p.m. on the City Hall lawn.
I make a motion to approve special event 2023-07, special event 2023-08, special event 2023-09, special event 2023-010, special event 2023-11, special event 2023-12, and special event 2023-13 as read by the mayor.
Second.
Motion second. Kate, I know we've got several event organizers, and I will just say to all of them, thank you very much for putting them on, for organizing. It's a lot of work, and a lot of work. So I'll just recognize that. And a lot of good things going on, a lot of people and bodies and moving parts to make those things happen. We appreciate that and all they do. So,
We do have a number of people here who, if they're ready to answer any questions, if council should have any. I did have a chance to talk to some people out in the audience about that. I did want to just make a note that Cruising for Kylie, in the number of years that it has been in, this event has been in operation, they have raised $75,000 for cystic fibrosis research, and that's a real plus. Just to say a few words on most of these are just coming back here because they're common events that we have year after year. Not a lot of change here, but we do have one new one, the Egg Hunt on South Beach. So, and that's being put on by but it's a free event being put on by the Curious Kids Museum. I'm sorry, the Mitten Forever Curious Museum, correct?
Now it's the Mitten
Now it's
Children's
the
Museum.
Mitten.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
no comments from the group? Okay, I'll just say thank you. Are there any other public questions or comments on these? All right. We've got a motion, we've got a second to approve all those special events. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. They are approved. Thank you.
And I just.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I just wanted to recuse myself from A and vote yes on B through G. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And that takes us next. The city council will be asked to consider the approval of a commercial use license agreement with Sincerely K&J.
I make a motion to approve the commercial license agreement with Sincerely K&J.
Second.
Motion, second. Kate.
Thank you. This is one of our commercial use agreements. To date, we have only approved 2 with weddings, I think, earlier this year. This would be a new one. They're looking to do custom picnics. This would be located at the south end of the Packard Park Beach. And again, this follows the same agreement style as the previous ones, where they're responsible for cleaning up the area that they're in. They pay a standard base license fee of $157.50. There is no any additional fee per picnic, if you will. And this agreement would run through the end of December 31st of this year.
I have one question for Kate. In our packet, it referenced picnics, but then there was one reference of weddings, and I'm guessing that was just a typo?
It's a typo, so
Okay,
we can get
just a
that
typo.
corrected.
So we're thinking it's just going to be picnics.
Just picnics. They're limited to 15 participants, if you will, and it's limited to 4 hours. And all they have to do is just let us know when they're going to be down there.
One question I had was, is it just limited to just the 15, or can they have 2 different areas in that sectioned off area at the same time, making it 30?
I think we were not anticipating that we were going to do multiple picnics, but we were thinking they could use that area when they so choose. It's a finite area of beach, and so there could be different areas, but I know that they're here, and I'm sure they'd love to come up and answer that question for you.
I can answer. I'm Jennifer.
Come on,
I'm one of
just
the owners.
probably state your name and just address, please.
Sure. Jennifer Brown, 06402 County Road 689. We would not do 2 picnics at once. It would just be limited to 1 picnic, maximum of 15 people. I will say most of our picnics are 6 and under. A lot of 2-person anniversary.
Thank you.
Okay.
I'm happy to answer any other questions.
I was just wondering about the path to get to the picnics. They'll just be following the
Yes.
main area. And
We
won't be
lead
trying-
everybody to them, and then we stay, meet with them, show them to the picnic, leave, let them enjoy, and then come back and clean everything up for them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Any shade structures involved? Any, like just an umbrella or a?
No umbrellas, nothing that would block any sort of views. It's just our foldable 2-by-4-foot tables on the ground and some floor cushions. That's all.
Okay. Very good. Any other questions? If not, should be good. I think you're good. Thank you.
Good.
Appreciate it. Public questions or comments on this one? And then we'll roll. All right. Got none. We got nothing else here. We've got a motion, we've got a second to approve the commercial use license agreement. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. It's approved. All right, next update from Public Works Director, Mr. Bill Hunter. Bill, since last we met, we've had an ice storm, a fake snowstorm.
Fake snowstorm.
I didn't lose power again. I love you guys. I'm just saying. My neighbors are still mad. They got their Generac generator just waiting to go.
Well, maybe they can resell that on eBay and.
Right, exactly. I got a bunch of them. They're just not using them.
Yes. Well, well, I appreciate that they're not using them.
Me too.
Thank you, Your Honor, City Council. This is an update, Department of Public Work, on projects going on within the city of South Haven. New substation is still underway. Transformer is set, and they were supposed to be conducting testing and services on it March 4th. Results aren't in yet on that. We're still anticipating to be energizing that facility no earlier than September 19th, and that's just due to load requirements for AEP. The AMI project, a substation, the base stations are up and running. We have heard back from the contractor, and they will be mobilized June of this year, so we'll start installing the meters. There'll be a contractor that comes in, they set up a mobile unit, and they start tagging doors, and they're change all the meters out. So by, I want to say probably July or August, we'll be fully functional and up and running. So there'll be no longer somebody reading a meter for electric meters. However, we will have meter readers actually still reading the water meters.
And where are those going to actually be installed?
Like I said, they'll probably be June. We've been installing them already. As they come in, actually, we've been utilizing the base stations. So when we have, there's been an issue with meters, of course, deliveries. Once we started getting the AMI meters in, my staff have been installing them. We have, I think, about 650 installed right now that we have been utilizing. In addition to that, we have been replacing water meters and installing them as well through an agreement between the city and Shawsa on a percentage of the paying on, for example, on the base stations as well as any capacity on the, because all of our data is stored remote off-site, so we had to figure that out. But, so moving forward, we'll have full utilization on the electric side probably by the end of August.
Gotcha. And sorry, part of my question was just where, like they're actually physically swapping one out and putting that on the exterior of the home, just so homeowners are aware of what to expect.
Yes,
with
the
this
homeowners will get
switch
a
out.
tag on the door just saying FYI, your meter has been installed, because we don't have to get inside to do it.
Perfect.
Unless there are a few meters, I want to say maybe a handful, where due to some kind of upgrade on the house, they're inside.
Okay.
So
So
maybe
otherwise,
those, outside of that, it's just been tagging the door, and that's the only thing they'll utilize. And then in the future, once we have this up and running, we're going to then probably look at implementing a customer portal, which would allow a customer through an app to be able to view their power and how much power they're coming in.
gotcha. So currently, we're not like you're not getting a notice saying they're coming. They'll just come and do it as part of it'll be doing it. You'll get a tag that says it's done.
They'll get a notice, they'll get a door tag saying that's been,
And so people won't notice any disruption in service.
there'll be some
Clock will be
blinking power.
flashing.
There's going to have to be with the meter, yeah, there will have to be. We'll try to coordinate, and that's
They're
why we
good,
tag
but-
the doors ahead of time and get a hold of them and reach out to them to try to coordinate
I'm
something.
not saying they're not going to lose it for a day. It's
Oh,
just,
no, yeah.
It's just a.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have something blinking in their house, they're going to have to reset. Other than that, that's it. So you're talking 5 minutes
Yeah,
at the most.
Perfect. Thank you.
Now, there might be some issues when, and these are outlying ones where we can't touch them due to, there's something that the customer needs to do on their end, code-wise. But those are very small, 1%, less than 0.5% historically on these kind of change outs.
Okay. Thank you.
Cost of service study for the electric, we have hired United Financial Services, same company we've used actually cost of service study or rate study in the water and sewer. They're doing our electric side. So they're taking a look at our capital improvement plan, taking a look at our long-range plan going out, and what they're going to do is come back, and this will be presented to city council on recommended rates moving forward, based on our capital plan, based on our assets, based on depreciation and debt, what we should be charging. And my plan is to, once city council has approved that, to come back and have them update it or renew it and keep looking at those projections every year. So we can physically, and we can report back to our users that we are looking at our expenditures and we're only charging the minimum that we can. So similar to what we're doing actually in the water and sewer side, we'll be doing on the electric side as well. Aylworth non-motorized path, that is, contract's been approved, and that'll be the spring of this year, and I believe they're looking at April of this year. So that's a big one, and we are actually looking at a second phase of that, going back in front of the MPO and requesting for to continuation of that, so we can get continuity through. I'm not sure if we're ever going to get all the way to Monroe, and that's due to, there's some issues we have, but we'll be able to get a good portion of actually Aylworth, at least with a bike path. The City Hall air handling unit, that is still spring of this year. Once we get it in, we'll be coordinating with City Hall on when to take that down. Now, when we take it down, that means we don't have an air handling unit so we want to make sure we're not doing it in the coldest part of the year as possible, so.
Or in an ice storm.
Yeah, we're doing that, exactly. we'll try to avoid that. Well, then the contractor's just up there and, Kids Corner Phase 2, the city was notified that we did not receive a Spark grant. So our alternative, which was we had a base bid and we had an alternative bid. And what we were looking at through the Spark grant was $232,000 with an additional $183,000 in through donations or charity to build that alternate around there. We're waiting to hear back from the state on the second round. I haven't received any notice. So we're going to reapply if we can, and that's where we stand right now. Currently, the contractor has the demo completed, the installation of the storm drain structure, and we're going to be staking for curb layout. We will be undercutting some of the earth that is there. Once they lifted and once they took out the pea gravel, it was discovered there was still black dirt underneath there, so about a foot. We can't have those organics underneath a pour-in-place structure because anybody knows that organics actually will settle, and we don't want that to fail. So we're going to undercut that out and put some number 2 sand over there. That'll be a better material, more compactable material to put that on. And then the rest of it, we could probably leave the black dirt in there because we're going to have engineered wood chips on the other side. So the Army Corps of Engineer beach nourishment, that's still going to be the spring of this year. I don't have any exact details other than it's going to be happening. We've been in contact with them, but no set dates at this time. Street resurfacing, spring of 2023. That is out for bids right now, and that will be completed in the spring of this year as well. Shawsa water service replacement. Everybody has seen the traffic control over there on Phoenix. That's a part of this. We're actually worked with MDOT, and we're saving some money on some concrete replacement, and we're taking a look and doing some exploratory and some replacement. So we took the opportunity with MDOT coming in and doing the work. Actually, they're going to be doing a reconstruction of the intersection of Blue Star and Phoenix, and then Phoenix and Broadway, as well as off-ramps off from Phoenix to 196, and I believe some work actually some off-ramps on baseline. So MDOT's doing a huge project. April 4th, they're going to start. We will have on our website a detour plan, expected actually maybe by the end of the day tomorrow. I will have a plan up there, but we won't have dates. We're just going to have on there, because I'm still waiting for a press release from MDOT, but we want to put something up, at least here's when it starts, and this is what the detour is going to look like. But it is an MDOT project, but thanks to Ryan, actually, he took the maps and actually redid it and made them a little clearer than
A little bit clearer, yeah.
originally was submitted to us. The Shawsa wastewater treatment plant, that is still underway with F&V. That is the design and build, and the plans are about 30% complete at this time. Shawsa water reliability study and AMP update. Safe Water Drinking Act requires a reliability study / general plan every 5 years. Included in that is an AMP plan or asset management plan. It's a part of the Safe Water Drinking Act. Every municipality or water supplier has to do that. It's a study it's an evaluation of your existing system. They do what they call a hydraulic modeling. So it's like a CAD of your system. They do scenarios where they do fire flows. And then with that, based on information of water main breaks, maybe the uses of the different areas, they make recommendations or update your capital improvement plan and asset management plan to the municipalities. We're required, when it's completed, actually to send it over to Eagle. Then the Shawsa Drinking Water State Revolving Fund, we are applying for a DWSRF for the 1 million gallon elevated storage tank, and that is underway. And Shawsa cost of service rate and design update, and we're working with United Financial Services. Similar to what I explained before, the initial cost of service study was done for the water and sewer. We look at the projections every year, so we can see, are they right? They need to be tweaked up or tweaked down? And I think it's just a very good practice. It alleviates, especially nowadays, people are a lot like with anything, they're laser focused on what am I getting for my dollar, and we have to be able to show our users what we're charging you, and here's what we're charging you, and this is the information or the data where we came to that. It alleviates what they call rate challenges, and that's more and more you're seeing as time goes, people challenge rates, so you have to have these studies done. I'm here to answer any questions the city council may have on these projects or anything else going on in DPW.
Questions for anybody?
I think maybe just with the work that's going to be done on Phoenix and Blue Star, it's not for a left turn light yet, but we are petitioning the state to do so, correct?
We did actually petition the state to do so. At this time, no, but there is a study happening about that.
That's going
And-
to be in June or July?
Yes. They're going to have that study done when actually it's normal usage, so I'm thinking probably, right when they complain it, they'll probably wait maybe, and I'm thinking probably July and August, that time frame they'll do it, and we should probably hear something, I want to think in the fall of that study. I know they're currently doing one, and they're looking at Meyer, because that one was, no, let me take that back. They're doing the one here at Phoenix and Blue Star. It was the Meyer one that they're adding to that, so my apologies. But yes, that'll be, I'm anticipating July. As soon as I get that information, I will share with City Council.
So Phoenix will be 2 lanes until,
Yes, part of the detour would be, yes, 2 lanes going through. They'll rotate the traffic. I believe it was the north side, and then when they get done with the north side, they'll flip it over to the south side.
And they are anticipating having just one lane of traffic going both east and west. They are anticipating one week for the north side of the intersection and 1 week for the south side, but that's what they're anticipating.
okay, thank you.
So.
I had one more question for you about the beach nourishment. I don't remember what that entails, if you could.
That's actually a dredging. We initially, when the water levels were high, we started this process, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, or requesting almost 4, I think 3. When the water levels were high, what we were looking at is trying to protect actually the clear well and our infrastructure at the South Beach. So we had a couple of meetings, or many meetings, with actually state representatives and Army Corps. And then this is the result of that. So we did, upon our requests, there was a lot of back and forth. It was initially the first nourishment, what was done actually last year, was, I want to say it was 3,000 feet short of our beach. And that was actually due to a study that they had done, and there was some confusion on where our intake was. Our intake is a mile out.
Mile out, yeah, so
I said,
about-
there's no
that's a
way
ways
what
off."
you're doing is going to affect our intake. But they actually
Go to
had to
beach.
have a study to prove that. So lo and behold, hey, Bill knew what he was talking about. So now we're actually doing this nourishment. Now, the nourishment is not going to be directly on the sand contact itself. What they look at is, so your water level is here. So they're actually going to be applying it there. So you might not see it, but what it's going to do is it's going to level that off this way, material-wise. So, so your beach area, your swim area is going to be shallower for a little bit of time, so.
That's good.
Once upon a time, I was on Harbor Commission, and what I remember was that the currents in the river will deposit sand in drifts, in piles, like the same way that snow drifts. And so, to Wendy's question, the Army Corps is going to come get those little piles out, and that's what they're going to deposit on the beach.
Correct. Correct. That's what they're doing. If you take a look at any of those jetties, even up and down the west coast of Michigan, if you see them, you'll see actually the south side of any of those openings is similar to Grand Havens, similar to Muskegon's. There's more material usually on the south side than there is the north, I'm sorry,
North.
the north side than there's the south side. I get that mixed up all the time.
That's
But,
what-
and you'll see what some communities will do based on, and it might not be Michigan, it might be other places where they'll do studies, they'll put a jetty out just to build. And we have a little makeshift one, actually, if you guys remember when the water levels were real low, we have one on the South Beach, a little small one that goes out, I want to say it only goes out maybe 50 feet. But even that little one there, we had to build up the sand. So I remember people asking us, is the time to move it? And I said, no, it's doing its job. It's actually building up the sand right there, so.
Yeah. It's a big challenge up and down the lake shore. The Army Corps has actually been sued for the impact pier structures have on sand flow. I mean, if you look at the city of South Haven, I don't think we have any private beach left. I mean, it's very little, pretty much all gone due to erosion.
Well, they were originally just pilings, and what they decided to do is they put sheeting down and encased them.
Yeah.
And what that did, that changed everything. When they had pilings, the water just moved.
Move through, yeah.
They closed them off to protect it and make it to where it would be sustainable for them because it'd be less maintenance. However, huge impact on everybody on the coast.
Yeah, the south side, so. No, my only comment is thanks again to the crew for keeping the lights on, and I know we maintain, so, and I don't, I know several, power companies got bad letters for not doing a good job, so I don't know if we have our contact to AEP and say, thanks for doing a good job and keeping the trees trimmed, and I'm just saying.
AEP did reach out to us before the storm. They had an email, and they were actually, and that might have been some of the interaction we've had before them in the past, some of the long outages they had. They actually staged trucks closer.
Wow.
So, and I think it might, some of that had to do with our feedback that we gave them. So, sometimes
Give 'em a
people
shout-
do
give 'em-
listen.
Give them a
to
shout out. We appreciate the fact that we
There you
didn't lose
go.
power, so just saying.
Hey, Bill,
Thank you.
someone that I know that lives just north of town is not on South Haven's system, wants to know if they can switch over to South Haven's system after this latest ice storm. So if you have any thoughts on that, let me know.
We could talk later, George.
We can branch out,
Very
run some
good.
extension cords.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a great night.
Thank you.
All right. Next, citizens in the audience will be heard on items not on the agenda. So if you have anything you'd like to discuss, come on up. State your name and address. You'll have up to 5 minutes, or you can sneak out.
Dan Agnello, 964 Everett Parkway. You've all received my email, but just to get this in the record, I'm going to talk about my favorite subject, STRs, and in this case, private STRs, or public, whatever you call them. Personal, excuse me, yeah. I've counted recently at least 40 personal STRs that are expiring certificates in 2023. There's approximately 80 to 83 right now that are going to be registered supposedly. Since the STR reform is our number one priority for the year, will one expiration date be finally given to these permits as required by the City Code of Ordinance, Section 10, and the South Haven zoning ordinance? Certificates with expiration dates of 2 years are still being issued. Despite the claims that this policy will end, the South Haven zoning ordinance requires all STR certificates to be issued annually, whether they're personal or business. Staff has mistaken the change to PSTR inspections being done every 2 years and permits the same time. It's not true. Permits every year, inspection every 2 years. As late as December of 2022, personal STRs with 2-year expiration dates are still being issued for 113 South Haven, 563 Center, 664 Indiana, 276 North Shore Drive, which also changed from a business STR to a personal STR, 31 Streamwood, and probably others in 2022. And all received 2-year expirations, not 1 year. I don't understand what's going on. Not a single 1-year expiration permit was given despite staff's promise to reform. Other PSTRs continue to be on hold status for months and even years. 500 Erie on hold since 11 of 22. 56 Lakeshore Drive on hold since 6 of 22. 935 Phoenix on hold since 8/22 with the violation for an unregistered STR on file. 412 South Haven Street on hold since 8/21, and 1370 Summerwood on hold since April of 21, and perhaps more. And another question is, do these on-hold permits hold up available permits for legitimate applicants? Does that count? Are they still, is there something going on here? It is wrong to allow these properties to continue to rent while on hold, as we have seen with other STRs. In other words, on hold 60 South Haven was put on hold because of the parking problem, and they were still allowed to get a permit, rent that year, even though they didn't have a permit and even though they didn't meet parking requirements. So even a lot of these on hold ones, quote, on hold ones, are being allowed to rent. Clearly contrary to this South Haven STR ordinance. My quick count is at least 4 personal STRs are due for renewal immediately. 130 Van Buren, expired on 2/23. 1060 Wilson Street, expires April of '23. 345 North Shore Drive, expires 3/23. And 50 Lakeshore Drive expires this month, March of '23. Others already expired on Clinton, Erie, Hazel, Beach, Kalamazoo, Michigan, and many others. What I'm going to say is, will these be given 2-year expiration dates or 1 year per the ordinance? I'll be watching this, and I hope the council will be also watching it in their wards.
It's a minute, yeah.
1 minute, thank you. I hate to keep sending these emails, but they're going to be getting them every week or whatever it takes until something gets done on STRs. It's not being enforced properly. The STR language is pure and simple. And they always say, oh, it's confusing. No, it's not confusing. I said several times at the city council meetings and planning commission meetings that if we enforce our South Haven zoning ordinances, we will clean up many of the problems. And I think a lot of people agree that. This 2023 number 1 priority needs proper attention, which is it's not getting so far. Studies upon studies upon studies upon studies and no action. And I indicated before, we're going through 2 cycles already for renewals, and there's no action. Let's get something done. If action is going to take place or status quo going to continue. Residents have expressed in several of the studies and surveys that they want action, not chin music. Thank you.
Thank you much. Was there anybody else? Come on up.
Earl Akehurst, 74 Clinton Street. And
Phil Durden, 78 Clinton Street.
we got letters, and I'd like to show you this. This is a copy of your ordinance.
Very good.
And this is a picture I received in the mail.
All right. Oops, throwing things.
Phil and I both got a letter that we had not returned our receptacles, the recycle receptacle, away from the street in the allotted amount of time. So what I would like you to notice in the highlighted area, the first word is after. After the container is emptied. The container was not emptied. It has not been emptied yet. It's almost 2 weeks later. If you notice in the picture, there's ice on the mirror of the vehicle that the picture was taken from. There was an ice storm. The truck that was supposed to come and empty the container didn't come. So we were giving the service provider more time to make their rounds. So I do have a question for you. How many days or how much time should we allow for the service provider to do their job before we receive a done notice that we're going to be issued a citation for not? Now, the next time I get a citation, it won't be just a warning. So there's ice on the mirror. My wife and I are elderly. We preferred not to walk down an icy driveway to recover the container, and we're also hoping that the container would be emptied so that we could comply with the ordinance. So I have a suggestion. I recommend that the recycling either be summer only or once per month. And this is based on, is the recycling in South Haven environmentally or economically feasible in the winter? And that's based on the fuel burn of the vehicle Every 2 weeks, the vehicle goes up and down every street twice to pick up how much recycled material. So when we get done here, make sure those papers get recycled.
Very good, thank you. Appreciate it. Kate, you want to comment on that? I mean, obviously, if it ever happens, they can call and we could adjust the.
There are times, and they're very rare, that Best Way does miss something. All that has to happen when you receive a courtesy notice, is just a courtesy notice to let you know, is you contact Rick and you say, oh, they never got my trash. And that's what Rick does, is he'll take your courtesy notice out of your file. And
This is not just a courtesy notice. The next time it happens, if I make a mistake, I'll be cited and fined.
that's actually incorrect. You get 2 courtesy notices before you are cited. And all that has to
Pull it out.
happen is you got to just call Rick and let him know that, nope, they didn't get me, and that's taken out of your file.
So wouldn't count against you, so.
No. And as
Times it
for.
happens, just let them know.
Right, and I do know there's a number of people who use the recycling throughout the year. In fact, I've been told that sometimes they have so much recycling that picking up every other week is not enough. So that's my suggestion to council, is that I'm happy to work with Mr. Akers and Mr. Durden, and we can get those taken out off their file.
Okay, that happens. Very good. Thank you. Thanks for the comments. Anybody else? Going once, going twice.
Mary Hasley, 726 North Shore Drive. I've raised concerns about the rewrite of the South Haven zoning ordinance. My concerns have been mischaracterized as a concern for the process. City staff claim the process balances efficiency and transparency, but the mischaracterization of my communication and comments at the March 3rd Planning Commission meeting raised concerns because what I hear is supposed to be happening is not what I see happening, and pushback by the Assistant City Manager should raise everyone's Will Robinson's warnings. Planning Commissioner Heinig at the meeting commented that as a steering committee, they do not feel that it's their job to propose changes in the ordinance. They're guiding the consultant to rewrite, they're looking at formatting and making it easier to read. He added there's other things that are going on, and they would come to the Planning Commission, and there's a lot more to do before anybody recommends anything. The assistant manager added that part of the project is working through these topics and splitting them up into different buckets: technical nature, policy decisions, and possibly master planning items for future discussion. He also added that the committee is very diligent and respectful about not making dramatic changes. There will be some topics that will be noted and brought before the Planning Commission to be more thoroughly discussed in public when we get there. Planning Commissioner Neese then restated what he thought the goal was and cautioned his Will Robinson flag goes up at any time one crosses over into policy. For instance, how we administer zoning is different than clarifying the language. Assistant Manager pushed back a little bit, saying these ordinances are policies in and of themselves, and said that City Council would be voting on them. Elected officials, City Manager, who handpicked the committee members, I ask you these questions, and I hope you will finally answer some of them, all of them. Use of track changes in sections updated through the rewrite process. When the rewrite comes back before the Planning Commission and City Council for votes, will the proposed new language be in track changes from the current version in addition to a clean version so we know exactly what was changed? Or will only a clean version be prepared for the rewrite and we have to rely on staff to decide what to highlight? I ask this because track changes confirm sections we know problems have been appropriately rewritten for clarification. It shows what the clarification is. It provides reference to ensure consistency throughout all sections. It confirms changes to sections. It confirms changes to sections do not cross the line into changing the policy, no matter how small. Why I have a concern. I have noted that there has been much change in the wording of There has not been much change in the wording of sections that have been reviewed, and the Assistant City Manager has admitted needed work. He stated the zoning ordinance includes sections that are unclear, inconsistent, and difficult to use for staff, applicants, and the public. He understands that this is not new, and this is why we have the recodification. So let's set the bar. Is this policy change that I'm about to mention for a clarification on use classifications? What should we expect? The zoning ordinance section 726 currently for unclassified uses cites section 2206. So the combination allows the Planning Commission to be involved and recommends changes, changes to the ZBA for proposals of uses that do not fall under the current zoning ordinance. The current rewritten section places all of this in the lap of the Planning Commission with no oversight. So would you please go on the record and clarify how this will be handled so we know what to expect from the rest of the rewrite? Would this change be considered a rewording with no indication of changes? Would this change be considered a dramatic change? Would this change not be considered a policy change, but a change falling within the policy in and of itself within the zoning ordinance? Would you say this would be or would not be the type of concern raised by Planning Commissioner Neese?
It's 1 minute.
Put another way, would this be a topic that will be noted and brought before the Planning Commission for thorough review? Will that thorough review include a version of track changes to show how it's different from the current version? And will the thorough review include a public notice requiring a hearing at which people would have 5 minutes? Residents concerned about checks and balances and transparencies in government actions would like these questions answered before much work is done. Efficiency to get something done should not turn transparency into muddy water. That is not the right thing for the community. Dismissing valid concerns just raises more concerns. The community looks forward to some clear answers. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments.
Joe Wilkins, 811 Indiana Street.
Evening, Joe.
Good evening. I just got 3 comments. Just a quick one on that issue with the bins. I would suggest that, at least it's in my opinion, I don't think the ordinance is really elderly friendly. I'm getting up there in age. I'm starting to feel things that I used to watch my father go through. Like, I used to wonder why he would cut hair out of his ears and take stuff to his nose. As a teenager coming up, I thought it was kind of strange. I started noticing I have to do the same thing. So as you get older, you can feel good one day and wake up the next day. You might not have that energy to go down that driveway to get that bin. So I would suggest that we take another look at that ordinance, especially for as our age, the average age is climbing in this community. So that's just my opinion, because I can feel it happening to me now. So, and the second thing is, I made a comment, I brought up an issue about the setbacks, and am I wrong to expect feedback from you regarding that?
No, but I wasn't sure which house it was.
Okay.
I know that there is a house down the street from you, but you indicated it was a different house. So if you know the address, I'm happy to look into it.
Okay, it's, all right. It's not too far from me on 80.
Is it on Indiana?
Yeah.
Okay.
And my last comment was that I do appreciate, I think it's Kate, the staff hosted the PFAS town hall meeting. I think that was really, informative. So I gathered a lot of stuff from that meeting. So I want to appreciate staff for putting that on. And also, again, I heard the mayor say it several times, it was a blessing to be in South Haven and then didn't have to deal with losing power. I assume we can contribute that to the work of Bill Hunter and his staff by keeping the trees cut back off the lines and stuff like that. So I can appreciate that, because I don't have, my neighbor has what they call a
Generac, yeah.
A Generac.
Yeah.
I think those things are running like 5,000, 6,000, and I always, I laugh at them and poke fun at them that he go a whole year and don't get an opportunity to gain back any of that money he spent on that. But so it's a blessing when you don't have to go through. We knew some people, and a lot of people up at Kalamazoo, a couple on the outskirts of the city that was without power for a while. So, yeah. So kudos to Bill Hunter and his staff. Thanks.
Agreed. Might be interesting, we should keep track if staff has folks that are having trouble getting those bins in, whether they be elderly or disabled. We could hook them up with, I got Boy Scouts, we got people, if I knew there was someone in my neighborhood that needed help, if we made that, just think about that. If we had lists of, if people are having, struggling to get their bins, then we could figure out a way to resource that out.
We could, and if council wants to loosen up that time, because it's a quick turnaround. I mean, they have to be off the parkway by essentially 9 AM the next day. The ordinance does say 8 PM, but staff's not going around at 8:01 to see if they're off. It happens the next day. So if council would like to loosen it up, I'm just going to put that in your court. Let me know what you'd like to see.
Maybe just send out a notice if you're struggling for whatever reason to get a hold of us, and maybe we could reach
Connect them
out.
with a resource.
You know, I could do it. I'm just saying, we got
And as a
people.
reminder, because we were talking kind of quickly, you said that for Mr. Akhurst, it's a courtesy notification,
Mhm.
and then we can easily have that removed, and so then he's 0 strikes.
Absolutely. I
Yeah.
mean, if that's something we didn't know about, or if Rick
And
didn't
some-
check
yeah,
the
if
bin.
Bestway missed it,
And if
that's
Bestway
certainly not
missed
his
it,
fault. We
that's
get
right.
that letter out of his file, and.
That's
yeah.
right. We call them A1, A2, and A3. A3 would be your citation letter. So you have A1 and A2. You have 2 courtesy notices to let you know that this is a pattern they're saying. But
Yep.
just having one, we can definitely work with that. We can get that removed. Not a problem.
And for Mr. Akhurst, who's still here, but we've been hearing from other people that are having similar problems, and that's why the city manager's mentioned, maybe we need to take a look at that rule.
So,
Yep.
okay, we can talk more. Was there anybody else? 1, 2, nope. All right, city manager comments.
Just a few comments tonight. We did have, we were initially starting to prepare for a May 2nd election. However, we have just been notified that Lake Michigan College has withdrawn their ballot proposal, so we will not be having a election on May 2nd. So our first election will probably be in August with the primaries and possibly LMCs. So they sent it out something today, just saying that they have, there was something wrong with the proposal language, so that's why they've taken it off. So that's one update. 2, Mr. Wilkins, Bishop Wilkins has kind of talked about this a little bit, but we did have our MPART PFAS town hall. I thought it went really, really well. The recording came out very well, so we have the recording and the presentation slides on our PFAS information page. So if anyone would like to see that, that's up there. So if you missed the meeting, there you go. And I wanted to give some kudos tonight to Kim Wise and Griffin Graham and City Council for all the work that we've been doing with our DEI initiative. There's a lot of work that went in with the city staff. I just want to really give a big shout out to those 2 who really carried a lot of weight on that one. So thank you, everyone, for that. Those are my comments.
And also just kind of a snapshot from that PFAS meeting was that while there was, PFAS discovered in and around that site, your drinking water comes from the city of South Haven, and our drinking water is safe. The wells that were tested in the area, which are not city of South Haven wells, they were also, the residential drinking were found to be non-detect, so.
That's correct. So if anyone has questions, we have our water supply tested monthly. We participated in a PFAS testing. Our water remains safe to drink. It is very well tested, and just want to reemphasize that our water does not contain PFAS, and we have continued to show non-detect or below levels. So we are doing quite well with our water coming from Lake Michigan, which is an open source.
Right, and this is a ongoing brownfield site. There will be a process in place to clean it up, so.
That's correct.
Details coming, and there'll be further testing to make sure everything's all good. But your drinking water is good.
That's right.
Boom.
Thank you.
City council comments. I'll start on my right.
No comments, thank you.
Just thanks to everyone who came and is watching and have comments for us, but that's all for me.
My comment is just to plug the high school a little bit. The South Haven Dramatic Arts is doing their version of The Little Mermaid this Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 2 p.m. So come on out. I know the kids work really hard on these things. They really love it.
My comment would be is if you're interested in serving for the city of South Haven, there's petitions available for each ward, for a representative in each ward, and I believe the mayor as well. If you want to get your petition filled out so you can run for office. As Mr. Wilkins said a week or 2 ago, run for election, get elected, serve your city. Thanks.
No comment.
All right, we had Congressman Huizenga here last Friday, week ago Friday, his first visit. So we had a really good visit with him here in town. We had only a couple hours, but we got him around town. We went to Spencer Manufacturing, Revere, Vanderzee, Sherman's, Gull Lake Marine, True Blue. We got them ice creamed up, blueberried up, all sorts of good things. He might have snuck away with some beer, just all sorts of, but a good chance for him to just get a quick snapshot. He'll be back.
Yes.
But we kind of had to just, a quick minute to run him around town, show him some of our businesses, and nice to be able to show him Spencer Manufacturing, which is expanding their business here in town, Revere, which has an expansion going on, they're adding jobs, Vanderzee continues to grow, Sherman's working on their new plans for their new place, Gull Lake Marine, fun to see their expansion plans, and True Blue, the Hartman family, always fun to have them show people around. So, good visit. He seems very, very engaged. We haven't met him yet. Really, really good guy. He's very curious, very hands-on. He was asking a lot of good questions, so he seems genuinely interested in what's going on here, and I think we will see him back frequently, so that's good. And on that note, I will seek a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thanks, everybody, for coming. Boom, boom.